No battle plan can anticipate all contingencies. There are always unexpected factors, including those stemming from the opponent's initiative. A battle thus becomes a balance between plan and improvisation, between intellect and reflex, between error and correction. It is a narrow line, but it is a line one's opponent must also walk. For all the balance of experience and cleverness, it is often the warrior who acts quickest who will prevail.
You've never heard of the Millennium Falcon? Should I have? It's a ship that made the Kessel Run in less than 12 parsecs.
Welcome to our Kessel Run Weekly Holocron Book Club. Yay! We're back with I would say
I
no
wouldn't
technical
say
issues,
no
but
technical difficulties because
it's not.
Yeah.
If I had just paid attention, then maybe not. But I mean, we're good right now. We're good. So Thrawn, obviously. So this week we are talking chapters 13 through 16. For those of you just joining that aren't familiar with it, we're doing 3 chapters a week. Every Tuesday.
I thought it was 15.
What?
13, 14, 15.
Math hard.
I can't math today. Math hard.
I can't math. One thing after another, I'm telling you.
And you were struggling to get that last chapter read, too. That's what's crazy.
That was the chapter I was reading. That was the one. I was like, oh man, I gotta get this one in.
You gotta get it done. That's funny. That's funny.
That's awesome. Well, I'm on a roll today. So before I guess we dive into 13, 14, 15.
Sorry.
You're fine. It was me. I noticed last week I didn't talk about one thing that was actually pretty pivotal to the chapters, which was Night Swan. Which seems to be
about that one.
Yeah, so Night Swan so far seems to be like this character lurking in the darkness, kind of toying with Thrawn, as we kind of see actually more in these, almost an episode, these chapters.
Spoilers!
I know,
say it every time, but spoilers.
By the way,
book club
spoilers.
Okay, sorry, had to say that.
Thank you. But yeah, so Night Swan seems to be lurking in the darkness, and in these chapters, we kind of see him that he's kind of directly messing with Thrawn, which is really weird. Where he's kind of like, oh, we got 2 people. Hello, Amy. Hello, Brian. But yeah, so it's really strange that he seems to be directly interested in Thrawn.
Yes.
Whereas Thrawn has been previously an unknown character this entire time. All of a sudden, I mean, this guy's like, oh no, I'm coming for you. Which, I mean, we've had some time pass and everything. But I mean, at the same time, kind of makes you wonder if Thrawn really has made that kind of name for himself already, where he's kind of like I don't know, it makes me kind of think of like serial killer-esque, like, I'm coming for you kind of deal. Here's the puzzles to figure out and everything, which is what he's doing. But I'm interested to figure out who this guy is. Like,
I am too.
It's really strange. Yeah. But I mean, basically in the last few chapters, the ones that you had missed, I mean, Night Swan, it was just a name that popped up when they were looking through the data pad, talking about different inventories of Clone Wars artifacts, because Thrawn has now become very, very interested in them. There was a complete shipment of vulture droids that over time, the price had started to increase because of demand. And it was kind of like, okay, why is there all of a sudden a demand
for
in
vulture
droids?
That
Right.
makes me think of like 101 Dalmatians, where all of a sudden all the puppies are like going away.
Oh, right. But yeah, and so like, and it was really cool because the way that those last chapters ended were with the vulture droids coming out from a moon of Umbara, which was really neat. Really kind of jarring. Like, I had chills when I read it. I was like, oh, dang, this is going to be big. And we get to see the battle that ensued in these chapters.
Yes!
So
that I did see.
Yes.
I say see because when I read, I see. But, you know, I was amazed, you know, because in the Empire, you don't just speak out. Mm-hmm. And usurp, the hierarchy.
Right.
And then the guy just kind of let him do it because he's smart enough to know that that was the only way they were going to survive.
Right. We got a couple more people that just joined, not to ruin the momentum. Gina and Jay.
Woo,
hey, guys.
Hi.
Thank you for joining.
And I feel like, how did he know, one, that was the moment that it was going to be turned around or not at all? And how did he know that this was also the moment that Chino would not, that he would decide? It's like, because he is good at reading people and he can do that. He knew that, but then how did he know that he wouldn't turn him in later?
Right. Exactly. And I mean, I think Thrawn's focus still is different than with the Empire. Vastly different, because he still doesn't understand it.
He doesn't understand it all. He doesn't understand the politics, the motives, the culture. I mean, he's lost. Right.
And what's cool is, like, when he did step up and basically just overtake his command, it wasn't in a way of, oh, well, I'm going to shine.
No,
or,
it wasn't
I'm looking for
mere
recognition.
malice.
No, he was looking to save the group.
Right.
Yeah.
And
he noticed the pattern.
And spread the wonder to everyone. He wasn't, he didn't even. So he tried to, disperse the good stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. Because he even, I think, mentioned in the book directly that he wanted the crew to take credit.
Right.
He wanted the entire crew to take credit for it, which was cool because he was looking literally to get them out of a bad situation.
Exactly.
And their current commander, Commander Chino, just froze.
He did.
Like, was worthless.
He was.
So, I mean, and then they force him into retirement and everything. So it makes me think, like, the guy's had some time, But at the same time, like, how are you just going to freeze? Your ship and everything are being bombarded and things like that. You've got all this battle. You're worried about vulture droids. Of all things, unmanned vehicles.
Those vulture droids were really doing a number on all of these ships, though. I mean,
that's true.
They weren't acting like normal vulture droids.
I mean, I did think it was cool how him and eventually Eli had found the pattern in that, too, where they were circling like vulture droids and everything, and then all of a sudden they noticed that they'd go to their own program, and then they were commanded by something else.
Right.
And it was like this one little window, and then that's what ended up saving them. It continues to amaze me what Thrawn sees.
Yes.
Yeah. Wow. Like, you notice just literally a second of, oh, well, it's gone. Now it's back. Okay, but it's gone. Now it's back. And it's just kind of like literally that had to have been just seconds. Because, I mean, those things have to be flying pretty fast. But just the things that he's noticing. And then on top of that, I like that for the first time we see pushback on him.
Yes.
With it was Admiral. I can't remember his name right now, but the Admiral of
Jinli,
the Foremost. Yeah.
Yes.
But, yeah, the Admiral of the Foremost. How he didn't just take his word for it. That he was just I mean, essentially, he was just like, no, I'm not listening to you. You don't know what you're talking about. You're a lowly officer, all this other kind of stuff. And Thrawn's like, all right, cool. We're just gonna do it. I think it's Gimli or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think. We'll figure it out later. But I really like that scene because he decided, I'm going to survive and I'm going to make sure everyone else survives over my career necessarily.
Right. And it's kind of, I don't know, it's a weird perspective, though, to see him acting in that way, only because that could be what potentially ends everything.
In a moment. I mean, look at Chino. Yeah. All he had to do was say, oh, yeah, it wasn't really my idea. And he would have been fine because that's who he really wanted was Thrawn.
Right.
He didn't want Chino. He wanted Thrawn.
Definitely. And so, I mean, that's what's kind of, I don't know. Like, I wonder if it could be part of his plan, and that's why he was thinking that if I do this, then nobody's going to backlash on me or anything like that. But he doesn't seem to know. But at the same time, it kind of makes me wonder who's watching out for him, because him usurping the command of his commanding officer, like pretty much at the risk of mutiny and treason, the whole nine, like all very, very serious things. I mean, I wonder if Palpatine is watching him.
See, I'm curious about Palpatine, yes. And he has a meeting with Palpatine in the next chapter. So I'm really looking forward to that. I think it's the next chapter, or the chapter after that, but next in his timeline. And I'm really looking forward to that. But it makes me wonder, because he has mentioned Anakin before. Even if, you know, and now Palpatine's probably gone back to Vader and said, do you know this guy? And
so that's what I'm kind of, because there's got to be something else at play, or it's just Thrawn playing multiple games at multiple times.
But I mean,
it seems hard to fathom that he's escaped the fire so many times. But at the same time, seeing his strategic analysis and the combat and everything that he's already been through, like, I wouldn't put it past him. But then I want to know how. That's my thing. Yeah.
You would think, though, that no matter how beneficial his services are, at some point with that many xenophobic people, that it would eventually fall apart without somebody very, very high pulling the strings. Because at this point, you know, it would be so easy. He hadn't saved that many people. I mean, he's made an impression, but Commander?
Exactly.
And
like, not only does he escape, not only is he escaping, but he's being promoted out of these situations.
Yes.
That's what's wild.
He keeps going up and up and up and up.
Right. And even Yularen is like, I don't get it. Like, so I'm glad you are, but at the same time,
For things that most people would be drummed out of the service for, or executed,
or their career completed,
or something,
career ended. I'm interested to see where the resentment with Eli is going to come in, because he's starting to really start. Well, I mean, he's always kind of resented Thrawn, but it's really starting to surface where even Thrawn's starting to notice the resentment in his voice, and things like that. I think we have comments.
Ooh, yay! Hopefully, not technical difficulties
on the other video, but that's okay. Looks like my wife. Hello, lovely wife.
Lovely wife. Oh wait, she's not my wife, is she? Wait,
no, she's not your wife. I'm selfish.
Yeah.
But yeah, Darren and then my sister-in-law Kayla have joined. So hello.
Hello.
What's up, guys? But yeah, continuing with it and everything, like, I wonder what head that's going to come to with Eli as far as his resentment, if he ever decides to act on that, or really ask the question, why am I not getting promoted? Why am I holding the rank of ensign a year longer than I'm really supposed to? Why am I
wonder if it's Thrawn. I
don't know.
Not like, because he always seems to know what he's doing and what he's saying. And it's not like he's oblivious to this. If he wanted Eli to advance, he would figure out a way to do it. So it kind of makes me wonder if behind the scenes he's dropping hints or something. Maybe he wants to keep him out of the line of fire. Because if you're really an ensign, what harm could you be?
I can see that. But at the same time, though, we see Thrawn really caring for him. Though.
Right. But he's never cared about his career. He's always just cared about him as a person.
Right. That's true. But see, I don't know. I feel like, I guess personally to me, that I feel like that should go hand in hand.
It should.
Yeah. Because I would care about your advancement in life or your career if I cared about you as a person. And everything that we've seen of Thrawn is a different light than what we've seen in Rebels, where in that he was ruthless, relentless, vicious even.
Was he though? I mean, yeah, he shot Bendu in the face. Okay, I know that.
Well, I just raining fire on a planet. I mean,
yeah, but I mean that's his strategy. I mean, I don't know. I can't wait to see after this particular book has come out. I would like to see Rebels next season to see him in a different light. Or I would like to go back and see season 3 after I've read this book and see if maybe he's not ruthless and evil. He's just doing his job, whether that job is awful, but he feels like he's obliged and, you know, he's doing his deal to save his people again.
Yeah.
I'll fit into your culture if I can save mine.
I could see that.
And after years and years and years of trying to fit into that culture, it's got to start taking over a little bit. But
I don't know.
I don't know either. I know in Rebels, it's always like black and white most of the time.
Well, and that's what I love about this is that it's graying that line.
So gray.
Yes, because I mean, even Eli, I mean, he's not a bad dude. He's not the typical evil or villain or anything like that. Like, he's a good guy, but he's in the light of the Empire, and that's the difference. Is that in his eyes, which is something that we're going to get to see in the Battlefront 2 game coming out, is that we're going to? Yes, I'm very excited about
pre-order.
By the way,
I was going to pre-order.
Oh yes. So I mean, if you pre-order, you get beta access, so we get to play it early.
So I'm pre-ordering.
Exactly.
Yes.
There's no question.
Yes.
But back to the book. But I mean, like, I love these stories like Rogue One and everything that have been coming out that have really been graying the line of. So you got your Rebels, you got your Imperials, but are either one of them mutually exclusive to being good or bad? Like, that's the thing.
So.
It's all about like Obi-Wan jerkishly says in the original trilogy. It's all a matter of perspective,
right?
From a certain point of view, and that's what I'm starting to feel like throughout this whole thing is like Thrawn is not a bad dude, or not that we've seen. He's just very smart. He's very calculated, very strategic in every single move he makes in and out of the battlefield. It's almost like he never leaves the battlefield. And then Eli, he's not a bad guy either. He just wanted to be a shipping officer.
He wanted to do numbers. I tell you what, that dude can math.
Yes, he can math.
And
I cannot.
Thrawn can math.
They can math.
Those calculations, it took him 2 minutes to do those calculations, to pinpoint the area that transmitter was coming from.
Oh, yeah.
He can
math. Which is impressive. Oh, he can math. Thrawn tutoring services. No. So yeah, and then it also in that chapter it even goes to Night's Watch, or I'm sorry, not Night Swan. I don't know why I said Night's Watch. Night Swan. I'm going Game of Thrones for a second. But yeah, so Night Swan, where after all that and everything, even Thrawn starts to notice patterns. Where I actually have written down on my notes, where he finds out that Night Swan knows where Thrawn will be patrolling, so he knew where the Thunder Wasp was going to be, which I still hate that name. I think that's the lamest name for a ship, but
I've seen some boats that have some pretty fun names, so
I mean, I don't doubt it.
A Thunder Wasp.
But I mean, like, you're a big Star Destroyer, like, supposed to be intimidating. You're the Empire, and you're the Thunder Wasp. It's just like, oh, okay. Yeah. It's like they gave him the jalopy of the Empire or something.
Well, up to now, they've never been on the greatest ships.
That's true.
So maybe that's like,
so for all we know,
right? Maybe it's like their life on the D list or whatever that show was a long time ago that I never watched.
That thing that was there.
I knew there was something. Yeah. Somebody paid for it at some point.
Right. There you go. But yeah, and so Night Swan knows where he's patrolling. He knows that Thrawn is collecting Clone Wars artifacts. He even misdirected him to Umbara. And so it's cool to see someone having or at least playing the same game that Thrawn is. That's really exciting.
Yes.
Because it's like, so who's going to outsmart who? Who is ahead of who? Because right now, Night Swan's like 20 steps ahead, and Thrawn's like, hold up, I'm catching up.
Yeah, but it's Thrawn.
It is Thrawn. It's not Night Swan.
No.
So it stands to reason that he may overcome Night Swan in the book. I would imagine.
Eventually.
Yeah, eventually.
I hope that it's not like really soon. I hope that they play this game for a while.
That would be cool.
Game.
Right, because it's the game of wits with him. It's not firing back and forth. It's not all purely militaristic. It's a game of the mind. It's chess, basically. Yeah, and it's really cool seeing somebody ahead of Thrawn, thinking ahead or anything like that.
It really is.
But
up to now, I felt that it's really been one-sided. Yes, Thrawn is amazing. Yeah. Thrawn is smart and everything that we know him to be. But there's only so much luck in the world. And
that's true.
I'm waiting to see him maybe not succeed. Maybe he did anticipate 15 moves ahead, but somebody else anticipated 16. So,
but would a failure on his part really, I guess, kind of destroy his credibility, though?
I think so, probably maybe a little, but he'll get it back. It won't be permanent or anything.
Yeah.
But,
see, I could see it more looking like a failure.
Right.
And then he comes back and uses that as a success.
Right. He'll figure out a way to switch it. But I do want to see the look on his face when he's like, I did not expect that.
It's like, surprise. So yeah, I'm interested to see this Night Swan character come to fruition for sure.
I am too.
Because he doesn't seem very worried about him, but at the same time, he has an opponent.
Yes.
Which is really cool. The villain has a villain. But yeah. And then we go into the next chapter, and we get to see Miss Price. Arinda. Which now with these, well, I read 4 chapters, but with these 3 chapters, I was actually using the audiobook too. Because on Audible, not trying to make a shameless plug or anything, but but on Audible, I had a free credit that I didn't know about. So I was like, you know what? I kind of want to hear what these voices sound like and stuff like that and how they interpret them. So I got the Thrawn audiobook and I was reading along with it and everything. The voice actor who like tries to do Arinda Price, like it's like the movie White Girls. It's really, really bad. But it's really hilarious because it's like this over feministic kind of voice to it. Like it doesn't even make sense. Like it's like, who have you listened to that sounded like that? That's my. You sound like a sorority girl walking straight out of college. It's just like it was just like, okay, cool. Didn't expect her to sound that way, but we'll go with it. Now he does Thrawn's voice incredibly, like as creepy as it is on
that
Rebels.
That was the intro that you.
Yes, that's the intro that we used in our last one.
Okay.
That was
that was a shameless plug.
Yes, that was. But yeah, but anyways, the chapter.
The chapter.
Now that I'm done talking about the sorority girl, Arinda Price. But yeah, so in this one, in this second or the 14th chapter, she gets a promotion. Woo! Yay, Arinda! She started from the bottom and was back to the bottom, and now she's here. So
yes, and she knows something's up. She knows it, and she knows it can't possibly be good. You know, that they can afford to have staff that they never see, that she never sees, and she knows something's wrong, and she's willing to do that just to rub with, you know, the people that she feels are above everyone else. She wants the power.
To get her family's mining facility back.
Even that's becoming distant memory, even to her.
Right.
And
she even mentions it at one point where she feels like it's never going to happen.
It's never going to happen. But, I still have to get up, 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 up. Even if that's not going to happen. It's like she's gotten a taste of Coruscant, not Lothal. And she has just, it's not even about the mine anymore in a way. Right. It's just about getting up there again. I want to get to the highest level I can. 4,000 levels? I was just thinking of that.
That's crazy. Yeah.
Can
you imagine how fast it's going down in order to cover that distance?
I know. So that, when you say coming down, it made me think of the elevator scene where she gets in the elevator, the guy leaves her at work later than she's supposed to, and then is really safe.
Oh, yes.
And she goes down the elevator, and it just flies past her level. And she was already late. And then it won't stop, and she has to emergency stop it. 21 level. I think it was 21 levels lower. I could be wrong.
I think so. It's like 4,020 something.
Yeah, it was something really, really low and scary. And,
I'm
like, I don't know. I don't know what you would do in that situation. But I'm glad she's taking some self-defense classes after all of that.
Now, yeah. So I was about to say, she didn't fare very well when she got cornered and jumped.
No.
Like, when that started happening, I'm like, okay, what's about to happen here?
Right.
I was like, is she going to try? Is she going to get herself beat up? What's happening? And then her fearless roommate, Wahir, comes up and, like, kicks butt, man. Like, obviously she's hiding something. And I think she is hiding something. Because the whole thing, I thought I told you. I told you.
Definitely.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah. No, they're playing her
hard.
And she knows it, and she's allowing them to play her. So I want to see her game. I know that power is her thing. But what does she possibly have to gain from doing all this work in an organization that is faulty?
Right.
She knows it's faulty, and she's doing it anyway. To me, that's not very smart, but I don't know her game. I want to know her game.
Well, and I think that eventually when her and Thrawn cross paths, I think she's going to take some tips. Yeah, again. I think they're going to have a better conversation, in all honesty. But that's me. I'm trying not to venture out of the three
chapters. No, I think that they will.
I was over here.
I was glad because, like I said, I missed last time where they met the first time. So when I saw that, she knew who he was and blah, 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 I was like, oh, yay.
Elizabeth's here, by the way. Hello, Elizabeth. But yeah, so I'm interested to see, I guess, the way that her intellect works versus Thrawn's, because there's got to be a purpose that she's in here, other than that they intersect story-wise. I mean, you have Yularen, you have Price, Thrawn. The only one physically missing is Tarkin, that know all of them and everything.
That's true.
So we pretty much got the little inner circle that's on Rebels. But I'm interested to see the cunning of Price herself, to see what she can work out, because so far, I mean, as she said, she's been screwed over quite a bit.
Hard.
And now she's got that taste for blood of, I'm not going to let that happen again. And so she's looking for those things. And then with the advocacy group, like you said, she's noticing things like, why aren't you always staffed? Oh, you just miss them. That's all it is. You're just missing them. Really? 100% of the time? Come on.
Yeah.
It's like I never see anyone.
It always trips me out how people will lie to you to your face, and you would think they actually think that you are going to believe it.
Right. Yeah.
Because that's...
Like, oh, don't worry. Like, a driller is absolutely lying to her.
Well, the last time we were together, we created these invisibility suits, and they just wear them during the day because they're antisocial.
Right, there you go. as she takes a sip of coffee.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then, so chapter 14, I mean, it was the big things I think in that were Arinda's promotion.
Yes.
And then that she's going to start combat training. So now, so she won't be helpless anymore. So good on her.
Do you think, though, that somebody rigged the elevator? Because the elevator happened, and then the chick and the guy was there immediately after, really close.
Happened to be to get there before she could get down there. And then the guy is her date. Exactly. Yeah. See, and that's the thing is like, it has to be. Because it feels like the whole thing she's in the middle of, and maybe it's just the way I'm thinking about it, it feels like she's in the middle of a conspiracy.
She is, and she's being her. Mm-hmm. She's looking at what could happen rather than what could happen.
Exactly. Exactly. So I think she's in the middle of something bigger, and I think we'll eventually find that out because with Driller all of a sudden being like, "Oh yeah, totally, come work for me. You're perfectly fine. Yeah, do that. I got you."
Let me leave you here at night, so that knowing that you have a long way to go home.
Right.
It's all too
convenient.
And
I would agree.
I'd like to see where that goes. I would really like to see where that goes.
Oh yeah, definitely. I think her story is going to be equally as interesting. Hers, I haven't been really interested in because it's been kind of strange. Yeah, it really has to the overall story. So like, it really hasn't been my favorite set of stories within the book, but it's starting to have that intrigue too.
Yeah, it's getting way and way and way more interesting as we go. It's less of a side seat, more of a so Swan put her in there almost as many chapters as he put Thrawn in there. So I mean it's gonna be big. When it happens, it's going to be big.
Oh yeah, it's about every other chapter too.
Yeah,
it's a story of her. So I mean, yeah, that's not.
There's no back seat to that. It's just we're becoming more accustomed to her story at this point. I think because you buy the book thinking Thrawn, but
right.
Yeah, I think it's a great little side story.
It's more Thrawn and his super friends.
Yes.
And
their moon base.
Oh yes, and their moon
base. Puns. Don't judge me.
Judged. No, I'm just playing. In the actual final chapter, when you can math, chapter 15. It looks like I'm kind of reading my notes because I read this like really late at night, so I didn't want to forget anything. But yeah, so this is where Chino was forced to retire. Everything, we got the backlash of everything, and Thrawn was none too happy about that.
He couldn't understand it. He's like, "Do you realize how dumb that is?"
Yeah,
he's realizing.
I think that's the first time that I saw that we actually kind of saw him angry about it because he over and over, this is a waste of resources, resources.
Do you know how dumb this is? He's like trying to even explain it to himself. Like these people make decisions based on emotion instead of logic,
right?
And he can't understand that. That's like when he saved the gas or the people over the gas. He made a logical decision, but everyone else wanted an emotional one.
Right. Exactly. And it's interesting seeing him struggling with how the Empire actually does things. And I know this isn't a Battlefront 2 podcast, but like it makes me interested, like to see really
their story continue.
The fallout, the story, yeah. Because I mean, with all that, like, because you see the Empire making the emotional decisions and making the decisions that don't militaristically make sense, as far as trying to keep their people alive and keeping people in command and things like that, when they really didn't do anything wrong. It's just people being people, basically. But it also kind of makes me wonder about the Emperor's contingency plans, as far as, because I mean, he never really truly looked for this to be forever, because he put contingency plans in place and everything. I think it was in the Aftermath book. Yeah, he put contingency plans and things like that in place to where if he died, that somebody would have to cause the collapse of the Empire. A situation of, if I can't have it, then neither
nobody
can you.
can.
Yeah, but we're not continuing this. This is done. You do your own thing. I don't care. And so it kind of makes me wonder really how all that really plays out, because the way the Empire acts is very irrational. Thrawn sees that.
Yes.
As a military unit, it doesn't make sense. Nothing's really making sense. And so if the Emperor really never considered for this to continue forever, stands to reason that all this kind of stuff really doesn't matter to him.
Well, he thrives for turmoil. He likes to play the game. And to me, Palpatine is playing a game with the entire Empire. These are, I'm not going to go Doctor Who on you, but it's like this huge conglomerate, and on a whim, the Emperor could say, well, now an unscheduled faith change, but anyway,
right. Yeah.
I can put down these rules. This is what we cherish. And he has instituted that this is what we cherish. And he has nurtured it to the point that everybody is out for themselves. And that gas would have been really nice, because I would have gotten a paycheck or a promotion from that. But those people are expendable, basically.
Exactly. I completely agree with that. Because, I mean, ultimately, nothing matters but the Emperor.
Right.
The Emperor and his goals.
And as far as Chino, I mean, he embarrassed the guy. And
he did.
The guy got embarrassed and said, I'll have your career then. I mean, if you don't want it, obviously you don't want your job. So I'll just have it, because I feel a little embarrassed at this moment.
Right.
And I'll never recover.
Yeah, exactly. It hurt his pride.
Yeah, it hurt his pride. And therefore, he ended a man's career.
It's so crazy. Like, just reading that, I was like, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Like, I was with Thrawn the whole time. It was like he didn't do anything. Chino literally didn't do anything.
He didn't do anything.
The whole thing. Yeah. Thrawn did the whole thing, but somehow Chino got the brunt of it.
But Chino allowed it.
That's true.
And it was his command. I mean, ultimately, yes, they wanted to drum out Thrawn and give a reason to do that. But, I mean, Chino, that is his command, and he is ultimately responsible for those under his command. Because he could have said, nobody listened to him. He's overthrowing. Mutiny is punishable.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, there could have been other outcomes, but Thrawn somehow knew that this guy wasn't one of those people in the Empire that would do that.
Right. So I don't know, because that whole scene just it made me mad for.
It irks you. It's like it's counterproductive to the Empire.
Yeah, absolutely.
And
somebody threw a fit and got somebody fired.
And I'm wondering is it Nubium or Numium? Dunium.
Yeah, the metal. Yeah, Dunium.
Yeah. I was looking at noob earlier. Anyway, so Dunium, I'm wondering if that's for the Death Star.
I would imagine.
because
all these mysterious.
It's happening more and more and more and more. So is Night Swan somehow collecting all of this stuff and in league with maybe the Emperor, and that's why he's taken an interest in Thrawn.
That could be interesting.
I
didn't think about it being the Death Star. I figured it was just they were building some kind of research weapon. But you're right. Yeah.
I don't understand why they would want years and years of mining. I mean, other than riches, but all of a sudden.
Right. Out of nowhere, all of a sudden we're building.
Yeah. And then we know that later there's a Death Star. So it could be totally unrelated, but that's the click that my mind did. So if you take it there, then he would have to be in league with Palpatine, and then that may have spurred the obsession with Thrawn. But I don't know. That was just what came to my head.
I mean, I like that. Like that would be cool of Thrawn stumbling on the Death Star. Stumbling on that, and the Emperor's like, whoa, we're keeping it quiet.
Yeah. Because now he's got the appointment with him, So I can't wait.
I'm wondering if the Emperor's going to be like, hey, back off.
Yeah.
You're getting too close. I need you to stop.
These are not the droids you're looking for.
Exactly. But yeah, that would be cool to see Thrawn figure out the Death Star before the Death Star's even been built or as it's being built.
Yes.
Having him stumble on that. And if we've learned anything from this book, nothing has been coincidence.
No.
Everything has had a reason or a purpose throughout the entire book. Nothing's just been throwaway. Which actually brings me to the dojo scene in the book.
Yes.
I think the dojo is training people for Night Swan.
I do too.
I think it has something to do with Night Swan for sure.
Definitely.
And
not
that's
everyone.
why we're seeing something funny. Not everyone, right. I mean, you got to have some true people.
Right. To give the face and to be the face and to be able to combat Thrawn without giving themselves away. But yeah, definitely. I think it's a front, and I think Arinda's stuck right in the middle of it.
As she always is.
As she always is.
Even when she doesn't try to.
Even when she doesn't try to.
I just want to, learn some combat training. Self-defense classes. Cool, come to this dojo that's in the middle of a huge conspiracy.
Yeah. With your new
like you just picked the one. Exactly.
That saved your life.
You just happened to pick the one out of all of them.
Out of all of them.
But no, I definitely think so. I thought it was cool though. We got to see like you've played Skyrim, right? No? Oh,
I'm not a gamer.
Well, there's a game.
I'm a gamer.
Not a game.
Not a video gamer.
Well, in Skyrim there is a feline kind of. I think it's not Kashyyyk. No, that's a planet. I don't know.
I saw one on Elder Scrolls. I have a friend that has Elder Scrolls, and
it may be a Kashyyyk. I'm not sure.
I don't know what it's called, but I saw the cat people, and then there's cat people on Doctor Who too.
Yeah,
which
I thought that was cool. But
mentally pictured.
But like I was picturing those because those are the ones that are like the wheelers and dealers and everything like that and everything.
Gotcha.
Sorry, I lost my train of thought. But anyways, but Hazishi, like the feline kind of character, right. I thought that was cool because it's not something we've seen in Star Wars before.
I thought so too. It was a totally different species, and I was like, "Yay!"
I know, right?
unless it's something that I haven't heard of, which is totally possible. And write us and tell us how wrong we are, and that's totally cool. And we'll learn from our mistakes.
I mean, we might. I might just repeat them. I mean, as far as I know, I've never seen that in any canon anything.
I've never seen the cat people.
I've never seen a cat, period, in Star Wars. So to have that feline-like creature, I think that's a cool new species and everything to introduce, for sure. Especially that they're a leader of a dojo. I mean, come on, how cool is that?
That's kind of where I got lost. Hashishi is the leader of the dojo, but who is the guy or the gal? I kind of got lost in the names, but it starts with an M, Mason or Manson or anyway. He made a face when Arinda told Thrawn what advocacy group she works for.
I got you.
And so that was what I was curious about, is because I kind of got lost.
Yeah, I mean, there were a ton of names
there were.
thrown out in that little tiny dojo scene.
Yeah.
But yeah, and so I think that was the main reason why I think that Night Swan has something to do with it, because either that or they know what the advocacy group. I think they know what they're doing. Or they're in on it somehow. Everybody but Arinda is in on it.
She is in on it in a way. She's allowing herself to be a pawn.
She knows a little bit.
Yeah.
Very, very little. She knows that there's something going on that's about the extent of her knowledge.
Oh, okay. It seemed to me like she knew. I mean, she knew enough to say, maybe this isn't the best situation that I have put myself in.
Right. Which, even looking at unknowingly the next chapter, she actually gets herself into a little trouble there too, which is a cool predicament. But that's for next week. Yeah. So I'm trying to think if there was anything else we missed in the chapters. That was my notes.
Why is Eli not advancing? I know we already talked about it a little bit, but what is the benefit of keeping him that low? If it's not Thrawn, if it's someone else, whoever's upping Thrawn is stagnating Vanto, and I'm just really wondering why.
I wonder if it's a ploy to have Eli turn on Thrawn, because he has been faithful to him this entire time, and by not advancing him and watching the non-human advance over and over and over again, I wonder if that could possibly be what the goal is there.
That could be a very good possibility. I had not thought of that.
I'm trying to think like Thrawn now. Got to get in his head. But no, I mean, that's what I'm kind of starting to think, is that maybe someone is either it's either a couple of things. Personally, I think is that either they're trying to cause dissension between Eli and Thrawn, or it's just that Thrawn is the focus and Eli's just getting left in the dust anyways. Or it could be what you were saying, where it's Thrawn making the suggestion. But I think he's even said to Eli, though, that it was not his doing.
Yeah, he might have.
I think he did in the earlier chapters, because he was asking how he got promoted, all this other kind of stuff, and why wasn't he, or how they got assigned, I think is what it was.
It was an assignment,
Assignment, yeah. And he's like, I had nothing to do with that. But I mean, it could be that he's
but he did say that I had nothing to do with that. All I did was mention that there should be two interpreters on the same ship.
Right.
So yeah. That's all he said.
That's all he said, yeah. Exactly. That's all. Not a big deal at all.
No big.
So I'm sure that we will see what happens, but I'm wondering if because it's starting to cause a little rip in their friendship relationship of some kind, where Eli is really starting to resent him, because he's not going anywhere. He's not even.
You ripped me out of my career path that I wanted my whole life,
and dropped me in this one.
And now you won't even promote me. You won't acknowledge my existence, except for to say the odd word that this guy doesn't necessarily know.
Exactly.
What existence do I have at this point? I mean, what? This is, I can see it.
Yeah, I definitely could. Because eventually it's going to come to where he doesn't want anything to do with Thrawn, eventually. Which, again, I know I say it every time. I know you know what happens to Eli. I'm salty about it. But I think something's going to play out between them two, where they're not the dynamic duo that they have been, that they end up causing a rift, which I think it makes me think that it's not Thrawn doing it, though, because he still takes an interest in trying to teach Eli strategy and things like that. He includes him in what he's doing. I could see if Thrawn was running off and just doing things his own way and doing his own thing, that, yeah, maybe there was some dissension there, and that he had no regard for Eli, but he's training him.
See, the only thing that I could possibly think that Thrawn would be doing that is just to protect him in some way.
Could be.
But
because, I mean, he has proved that he's concerned for people and concerned for the lives of his crew. And Eli's as close as it gets. It's his only friend.
Right. And the only thing that I can think of that would make more sense is what you said, turning them against each other. Right.
And that's where I think that we're going, is that I'm wondering if, and even so far, I guess, going full tinfoil hat, what if Night Swan has anything to do with it?
He probably does at some point.
He's the one behind it. Yeah.
I think it's a big game. I think it's going to be a big game, and I can't wait to see
definitely
where it goes.
Absolutely. So did you have anything else that you wanted to
I think I'm good.
talk about with it?
I mean, that's an hour.
Good.
So
that's an hour, man.
Yeah.
There's a lot in these chapters, though.
There was. It was very
action-packed.
Yeah, it was very packed.
A lot of development with the characters and everything. It's definitely moving the story forward a lot quicker, I feel. I loved the whole battle scene with the Vulture droids. That was my favorite part out of the whole thing. Just seeing Thrawn really take hold of combat. Yes. And seeing how his mind works during that was just unbelievable.
I loved it. I really did.
Oh, yeah. So cool, guys. So we'll go ahead and wrap up this week's Holocron Book Club 13 through 15. We will have 16 through 18. Did I do it right? Did I math right? Okay, 16 through 18 next week. Goodness. But yeah, so chapter 16 through 18 next week. In the meantime, though, we have our episodes that also come out on Friday. There are big episodes. We have a fan-focused episode coming out this Friday for our interview with the BB-8 builder, Bobby White.
I thought that was cool. Sunday.
Well, we don't have another one.
Gotcha. I thought we were doing that this evening. Oops.
Oh. My fault.
No, I just... It's Friday.
Totally. Yeah.
Bobby White. See, I've been out of the loop for a week, guys. Sorry.
So our Father's Day special with Bobby White, our BB-8 builder. It's going to be really cool. It was a really cool interview and everything. So definitely look out for that. And then we have a few episodes coming up. Who is Snoke? I believe is the next week, which actually I was joined by my lovely wife in your absence.
Yeah.
It actually was really fun. It was really cool. So hopefully maybe she'll join us for another episode the way you can
definitely
hang out with us
too. I would
love
to hang out with her. I can't believe I missed last week. That was just tragic.
She's pretty cool. So she is our number one fan watching the entire video here. So
she has to be married to you. So
aww. So we got Who is Snoke coming out next week and everything. And if you missed the live stream, no worries. I mean, obviously you can watch the video, but we will have a more polished version for you tomorrow at 2:00 Central Standard Time on our Podbean, but mainly on KesselRunWeekly.com. Yay! All you have to do is go through our website, and you'll be able to find everything. You don't have to search all these social media and everything. We're in one place. But if you want to follow us on social media, we're at Kessel Run Weekly, literally everywhere. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. So join us there for some cool conversations and everything. And Heather, did you have anything you wanted to add? Or
I wanted to say that we have a Facebook group.
Yes, we do.
We have a Facebook group, and I have been gone for a week, and we only have a few people in there, but they're amazing people. And to add to those people would be equally amazing. I posted a poll today about what I thought we were recording.
We're still recording.
Yeah, it'll just be later. Gotcha. So, we're going to try to do polls. We want to hear your theories. This is for fans. We are fans of Star Wars. you are fans of Star Wars. So let's get together.
We have something in common.
We do.
So cool, guys. So yeah, join our group. And again, visit our website, kesselrunweekly.com, for all Star Wars and theories and everything.
And feedback.
Lots of fun stuff.
Because we'd
and
love
feedback, yes.
to improve.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So, if nothing else.
Nope, I'm good.
Cool. All right, guys. So, I'm Danny.
I'm Heather.
May the Force be with you.